Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I'm here to give you guys an update to the Necromancer build that I've been playing. A couple of you guys did ask for an update video, so I'll give it to you guys here. So the whole goal of this build, keep in mind, was to use a new unique item, the Ceaseless Feast. I do have a corruption on them which applies the negative resistances, as well as every time you're hitting them, they're going to be losing out on armor. It doesn't really matter too much because we're hitting for elemental damage, but originally the idea was to scale not only zombies, but as well as scaling the skeleton mages. I feel like the skeleton mages overall are just much better. Now, most people will be running something called Fleshcrafter, which makes it so you ignore the enemy's resistances. But I was thinking we could use the Ceaseless Feast and also give them negative resistances via like LE Weakness, and there's also another LE Pen node that you can grab as well. But that was the whole goal of this build. It's a lot cheaper to run it this way versus running the wand. The wands can get very pricey. Couple exalts usually to get some of the nicer ones, but I'll mention some of the things that you guys can be on the lookout for if you guys want to take this build even further. But I'll show you guys like the build that I'm currently running, as well as give you guys a budget variant. And the budget variant's actually really cheap. It's actually under 1 exalt if you guys want to get this up and running, and I've completed most of the content in the game. I'll show you guys where we're at. This is just some background gameplay, and I'm going to go ahead and actually fast forward to where I'm using some different gear, and I'll explain the different choices of options on gear as I was leveling, and if you want to incorporate some of these in your build as well, feel free to go ahead and do so. Actually, before I go into this map, I actually show off some of the gear. So the difference is that I actually take out the Fleshcrafter, and I'm going to actually run something else in a moment over here, which is a older armor that I was using. It has some nice modifications to it. I'm actually swapping over the gems. I'm not running a 6-link Fleshcrafter. Even right now, it's still what I would be considering kind of on the more expensive side of things. But pretty much what it comes down to, I'll show you the armor that I'm swapping in, but I just want to show you guys gameplay of both armors in action here. Now this one over here, we are also running LE Weakness, but I was running a build also with a different curse corruption on the Ceaseless Feast. But I just want to start off with the gameplay so you guys can kind of get an idea on like how aggressive this build can play, because we're going to be getting endurance charges, which basically gives us extra survivability. Eventually we start getting more investment into the build so we can get determination and a Watcher's Eye to make us immune to vulnerability. But I just wanted to give you guys some variety of gameplay here, and I'll show you guys kind of what we've done with the build after putting some more investment to it. Here's like a Cyrus kill over here. I'm just going to kind of fast forward it to the end just so you guys can kind of just see that like the build is capable. I don't want to make the whole video just showing it off with its like full gameplay, but it's more so like kind of a build slash update. And like I was doing some juice maps last night. You can see this one over here that we're going to be doing. Watch how fast these go up, by the way. So this is just a map. Oh, it did not show off the modifiers. Let me actually show this off at the very beginning so you guys can see. Oh, did it not even show? Okay, here we go. So we added Delirium Rewards bar fill faster, and we're going to go ahead and hop in. You guys will see how fast this build can actually clear content. So once we're hopping in, the bars are going to be going up way faster. I do like this build though. It's a very fun build, and the reason why I really like running Cyclone is it ignores unit collision. Also just makes the gameplay feel a little bit better. Obviously, yes, with the wands, you can squeeze out a lot more damage, but it's a lot more expensive. And again, the whole point of this was to make it so it was kind of an update to the beginner-friendly like build guide, because, you know, obviously the cheaper a build is, the more accessible it is to multiple players. Now that you guys have seen the gameplay, I do want to hop into kind of explaining certain things in the build, as well as show you guys first off what is absolutely required for the build to actually get up and running. So first off, going over the budget here. So again, I am aware you can get much better gear, because I know someone may think, why don't you run this? Yes, this is 3.5 exalts. The shield that you can get, yeah, it can cost a little bit too, but the main thing that's expensive would be this one. We're not running the wand in the gameplay. The whole point of this was to use Ceaseless Feast, as well as just some different things. So in terms of what's required for this to get up and running, I'm going to put also the POB if you guys do want it, but keep in mind the POB will be the current build, not the older build that I was running with some other things. But I'll explain some of the stuff to make it even more budget friendly. But we're running Femurs of the Saint. This is a staff. This is a 6-link. It's like 20C at the moment. Sometimes you can catch it for like 15 if it happens to be corrupted. On top of that, you will need some sort of jewel that adds Blessed Rebirth, and I'll explain why in a moment here. And then on top of that, we're also going to require Dead Reckoning. This is how you get your skeleton mages. You can still run zombies if you want. In fact, I was doing zombies for the most part. I was still killing conquerors with the zombie build. Again, I was trying to mix it in because of Ceaseless Feast, but it kind of became unnecessary. If you do want to go further, you'd be looking for specifically a wand with plus level to all minion skill gems and all spell gems, and then crafted or just have it so the trigger a socketed spell when you use a skill with an 8-second cooldown. It does get very pricey specifically with this. Like if I was to remove this, like look at the price. We go from 3.5 exalts all the way to... So it loads 2.3. So like it does become a lot more expensive if you add that mod, and it would make it way better for sure. But let me go and actually go back to my hideout. And like I said, I pretty much completed most of the content that I wanted to with this league. In terms of all the maps, and if I wanted to get like the vault pass, I'd have all of the tiers. So it is capable pretty much of doing every single thing. I haven't done Hologram Masters yet, but that one is actually really hard. Most builds can't even do it. But I want to go over like the whole idea of this build. So again, when there's a new league and there's new items, I always try to incorporate at least trying something with it. So the original idea with this was to hit for physical so I can remove all of their armor, because what Ceaseless Feast does is it gives them minus 5,000 armor every single time that we hit them. Now, these can get kind of pricey. I'm actually kind of curious to see how much these are with this corruption on it. So with this corruption, there's like 0 listed. You can get these for relatively cheap. I mean, sometimes when I see these, people are asking 1 exalt, but I've seen them for like anywhere from 5 to 30 chaos, because sometimes people just corrupt them and just throw them like whatever, throw it in like a 5C tab. So these can be relatively cheap. I got both of these for very cheap, but I was trying Elemental Weakness. Now, this is the armor that most people will be using. Fleshcrafter is a very cheap item unless you want it 6-linked, but Fleshcrafter makes it so minions will ignore, as long as they happen to have energy shield, their hits ignore monster elemental resistances. So again, the goal of this was to make it so I originally, and I still may do it if I 6-link my Fleshcrafter here, is just make this all about doing zombies. So I'd have zombies over here, and I'd still maybe go back to the Ceaseless Feast, but right now I'm kind of more focused in on the skeleton mages. But if I can curse them with elemental weakness on hit, or enfeeble is for more survivability if I wanted it, or if vulnerability or whatever curse I want, this is actually really nice to give yourself endurance charges as well, so you can take less damage. Originally, I was also running on my older gear, I was running a Kingsguard. So Kingsguard makes it so when we lose an endurance charge, we heal for 100. This was kind of fun to mess around with. None of the gameplay had this. I was actually running this for the most of the gameplay, but I was running a 6-link Kingsguard in the very beginning. But I was running this for a while too. This was kind of nice because I wanted to test out to see if I could actually just not run Fleshcrafter. Fleshcrafter for bosses specifically is just way, way, way better. But if you're just doing maps, you can get something with the new mods. This is with the Searing and the new Eldritch modifiers. So the Eater of Worlds is Searing X-Arch. So we're able to get more survivability, and on top of that, we can get actual more damage. Now, when we start scaling more damage with this, I would actually prefer to have Elemental Weakness, and there's also like a note if you want on the tree that you can get with Minion Offensive Mastery. You can take the mastery where they penetrate cursed enemies' elemental resistances if you want to. But again, with Fleshcrafter, you ignore their resistances. But if you wanted to take that as another option, feel free to go ahead and do so. Another thing that I will mention that's different in the POB, for the people that want to really stick with this as a budget build, the Ashes of the Star is a very great amulet. It's about 50 Chaos Orbs, but if you want to get something much cheaper, this can really vary, but just basically get Death Attunement Anointed, unless you are actually going to be pathing out to it. Basically just look for like life and resistances on most of PCs of your gear. Nothing too special with that, but this would be an item that could be kind of expensive. Again, it's like 50 Chaos Orbs. For the gameplay that you guys did see, I was running the Stampede. I like these a lot because when you're cycloning, because what I'm doing, and I'll show you guys all the gems and stuff, is I'm doing the cast while channeling as well as desecrate and then bone offering, and I just like it. It just kind of feels much nicer than just running around, which is kind of what the wand build does, which is technically it's more efficient. I just like this gameplay style, so it's kind of more niche. Another thing I will mention that I'm currently running is I'm running Awakened Minion Damage Support. But I was running just regular for like a really long time, and in the gameplay that you guys did see, minus the juiced up map, I was just running this. Well, this one, we ended up getting it to level 20, then obviously we're use the GCP and then make it have 20 quality. Then I was re-leveling it up, but then I ended up getting some currency, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and buy this. But pretty much you can complete all content. In fact, I completed all content before even having the Awakening in terms of like the 117 for the maps. But some of the gameplay also was running Null and Void, so I was running this with a Curse and Feeble just so I can run a little bit faster, because I ended up dropping the Stampede for these boots. These boots aren't anything really special. You can get these for relatively cheap as well. But Stampede was fun to mess around with. And other things to mention that I did change up since I think the last time we made this video. Nothing too special with the rings, just life. I've actually been messing around with this recoup mechanic. I kind of like it. So I have recoup on both of my rings. So this has 15%, this has 13%. I like this little recoup mechanic. It's fun for extra survivability. And I got non-channeling skills have -2 total mana cost. Other than that, nothing special with the ring, just resistance is life. And then for our helm, we are actually using some of the newer Eldritch orbs. That is the new currency. And I really like this reduce effective shock. So I have 33% reduction here, and then I have on the Pantheon, if my face wasn't blocking, which I will remove real quick. So let me move my face out of the way so you guys can see this. And I'm running 60% reduced effective shock, and I have another 33%. And I can actually upgrade this. This is a lesser one. If I go higher, yeah, we could definitely get this up much more, and then basically be shock immune. We're going to be freeze immune with Soul of the Brine King anyways, which basically everyone gets. And then I'm ignite immune with a belt that has the cannot be ignited implicit on it. So I really like that. You can also get a ring that's corrupted that has immunity to ignite, but I wanted to be basically ailment immune in like the freeze, shock, and ignite. So that was kind of nice. These can get kind of pricey if you want to have armor, but if you're just looking for ignite, you can get this for relatively cheap. But this one did happen to have pretty decent rolls on it. I believe I paid like 40 chaos for this one. The gloves can be kind of pricey. Now, again, if you're running a more budget build, you can run regular Ceaseless Feast if you want to. I know Ceaseless Feast doesn't have life, but the extra endurance charge is quite nice. And what I'm doing with those endurance charges, well, what I was originally doing with the gameplay is I was doing increased duration with cast when damage taken, then obviously a mortal call, and then it would expend those charges, and then I would get those charges again. One thing I do want to mention with the passive tree that is very important, and I did mention one of the jewels is required for this build to operate efficiently, which is actually going to be Blessed Rebirth. The rest of the cluster jewels don't matter at all. The only thing that is actually required is Blessed Rebirth. That makes it so minions created recently cannot be damaged. The skeletons will just die really, really fast. It's kind of just how skeletons are versus other minions, is they're just meant to die really fast. So with Blessed Rebirth, for 4 seconds, they can't be damaged, so every 4 seconds, just recast it, and you'll basically just have skeletons that are immune to damage, but they will still take damage, so they can still, like, basically sit there, as in, the enemies will attack them, but they won't actually have the damage be dealt to them, if that makes any sense. So they can still be attacked. They don't become a untargetable minion, because they will still be attacked. So I'm running Call to the Slaughter here. Again, I'll link the POB if anyone wants to have like the full thing that I was running. But again, the only real important thing is Blessed Rebirth, as well as the other jewel, which is Dead Reckoning. Which, if you can get a cool corruption on it, cool. But if not, no worries. In fact, this one is kind of useless because it's avoid being ignited. But here's the tree. Just in case. I know some people they don't like downloading POB. I do have Glancing Blows. One thing to mention that is important, if you are running Ceaseless Feast because you won't have the accuracy, definitely get Resolute Technique. You can't deal crit strikes, but you're going to do 0 damage anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I also do happen to have an expensive Watcher's Eye. This is another thing. If you're playing budget, you will not be able to afford this realistically, because this can be very pricey. You can buy this for about 1 Exalt, but your mileage may vary. I paid 2 for this. I've seen them for 1 before, but sometimes they can be up to like 4. But what we're really looking for is that gain. Right now it's 8% of maximum mana as maximum energy shield while affected by clarity, but I'm also running it because it's unaffected by vulnerability while affected by determination, and we're running determination as well. And one thing that is really important for this is this reservation mastery, so you can use all of your skills. Now, in terms of what we're running for our jewels, we're basically maxed out over here. So we're running Pierce Support, Summon Skeletons, Volley, and like I said before, some of the stuff I was running like lower ones before, like in the gameplay. I did not have a level 27 Summon Skeletons for some of the gameplay. It's just, again, for budget purposes, yeah, feel free to not get... this isn't even actually... I don't even think this is very expensive. What is this at right now? This is like 10 chaos. Okay, so a level 21 summon skeleton, so no quality, by the way. If you want quality, yeah, it does get very pricey, but the reason why it's 27 is because all of the different modifiers, like Femurs of Saints and the Necromancer Ascendancy, but yeah, we're also running Volley Support. This one we corrupted, but it leveled down, unfortunately. So, like, we still have room to min-max. In fact, the Spell Echo could be actually even higher. Let's go ahead and corrupt it. Let's see if we can hit it real quick over here in the vid. Okay, we didn't get anything on this. That's unfortunate, but that would be like another area where we can technically upgrade, and I'm still doing some upgrades. It's kind of just more like a video on like the progression, but I also, you know, might as well make this like a build guide for anyone that doesn't want to run like a budget skeleton mage build. So again, because Femurs of Saints is like 20 chaos orbs. I already showed off the rings, but we're running Skitterbots, Frostblink. I like Frostblink over Flame Dash. It's just like the rubber banding that exists with Flame Dash. I just don't like it, so that's why I run Frostblink. Some of you guys did ask, why don't you run Flame Dash? It just feels better to me. Again, it doesn't really matter though. Ray Spectre, and then we have Animate Guardian. What we're running on the Animate Guardian is actually probably have a bunch of like extras because it can die. So I'm running Ambu's. So what I do with him is I run Ambu's. I also run Learcast, the Victaro's Flight. So basically additional move speed, Dying Breath for more damage. You can run Kingmaker, but it's a little bit more expensive. Again, the whole idea is to be budget. Most of these are like 2 or 3 Chaos Orbs a piece. And I just had some extra getting stuff that I was saving up just in case it died again. Because there are some boss fights where it's just going to sit in the AoE and it feels bad, but it happens. And then on top of that, we are running Feeding Frenzy with Ray Zombie and Meat Shield support. And then we're running Zealotry as well as Clarity. Doesn't need to be leveled up at all. And then we have Summon Stone Golem. And then Increased Duration, Cast 1 Damage Taken, Immortal Call, level 4. Over here. And then Determination. This one, it is level 21. I don't think this was very expensive either. What was this one like? It was like 10 or something. Oh, it's actually only 3 chaos to get that Determination. Let me throw this back on before I forget. But that's what we're running. And as far as our gloves go, these are actually really easy to craft. They are super expensive. I was going to make more of these because they're actually very easy to craft for me. So basically what you can do, I accidentally messed up these ones. I rolled something else on it. So what you want to do is really just get an essence that can roll plus minion damage. That is going to be, let me go to my essence tab over here. So I was buying these, and this is how I was going to make a lot more currency, and you could do this as well. Although, you know, more people that do it, it obviously makes it less profitable because there's just too many on the market. All you have to do is get gloves that have the implicit of the new mechanic where it's Searing Extra minions deal. It goes up to 22%. That's the grand one. You don't have to roll these. In fact, your chances are, I believe, like 1 in 90 to roll some of these. But these items can just drop and you can pick them up. But I was buying these off of people, and you can buy these if you just, you know, happen to snipe them at the right time. You can get these from anywhere from about 5 to maybe 20 Chaos Orbs. Don't look at any of the stats other than the minions deal increased damage. Basically, you want the highest one as possible. In our case, it's going to be 22. The chance to suppress spell damage, I got lucky and I just rolled that on it. But that doesn't really matter. I literally only have 8% unless I activate this. Which gives me another 10%. But all I'm doing is I'm just throwing essences on it, and I needed extra dexterity. If you want to sell these, I would recommend you actually crafting dexterity on them. I only needed a couple more dexterity just because of the gems being like level 21. So I needed it for that. But you can have, if you want to, you can have a lot better stats on this. You can get plus the gem auras as well. That's another great option, but I needed it to have the life on it, and I didn't have an open prefix. I had an open suffix though, so that's why we have the extra attributes. But basically what you want to do is just keep spamming this until you either get life or dexterity on the item, and then you just craft the other one on. It's actually super easy to do, and it's like really profitable. And these are about 2 chaos orbs a piece, anywhere from 1 to 2 chaos, depending on your luck. But yeah, that's how you craft these gloves. And then that way we have the 22 plus the 28, it rolls anywhere from 28 to 30% increased damage, and then you get 50% increased minion damage on some gloves, and you'll have some nice life. These we just, like I said, I bought this for like 40 chaos, I believe. And then these, I don't even remember how much I paid for them, but you can probably get these for relatively cheap. I mean, let me share screens over here, and let's see if I use the Awakened PoE trade. These modifiers don't really matter on it, but all that really matters is, let's say I want the 35% movement speed is maybe gonna make it cost a little bit more. Okay, well, I did not pay that much for these. Again, sometimes you just get lucky with certain things. Oh, you know what, does it consider it 30? Oh, you know what? Okay, hold on. Let me scan this again. So if I change this increased movement speed, oh, can I like change this to 30? Let me see. Okay, so you see how it's 18 chaos now. Okay, the reason why the other ones are going to be more expensive, and I just used, I believe, a lesser on this one. So it counts, when it scans it, it's counting it as 35% movement speed versus 30 plus the extra 5%. And the extra 5% is done with the Eater of Worlds. That makes things go up significantly in price, but yeah, I mean, you can roll those on it. I don't really know exactly how hard those are to hit, but again, I just rolled it myself on it, so again, you can get these for, was it like 18 chaos, and then if you get like, it's just 5% movement speed. The extra armor, I do like it, and it happens to work out quite well, and that's because both of these happen to have armor on them. This one actually has, what is it, 2 level of Socked Minion Gems. You can get up to 3. Again, I bought these, I think, for like 10 chaos a long time ago. I probably should replace my helmet. There's a lot of upgrades that we can still actually get on this build for sure. But this is kind of more, again, update on progression. I don't think we got anything other than we probably qualified these up since the last time I played. But it's, again, just more of an update as well as kind of a full guide. And I think okay. Oh, I didn't explain these gems. So we're running Bone Offering, Cyclone, Desecrate, as well as Cast Wall Channeling Support. But if there's any improvements for the build, definitely let me know down below in the comment section below, as this is the first time I've actually played Skelly Mages. Heck, this is the first time I've played Minions in a really, really long time. And the build is really smooth. It clears out content super, super fast. In terms of the playstyle, I mean, you guys saw the gameplay, but basically all I do is I Frostblink, I throw my skeletons, and I keep on moving, and I summon more skeletons. And it's just super smooth, super easy, great for beginner players, and it's great for bosses. But anyways, that's going to go ahead and wrap up the video. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new and do want to see maybe one more update, I think I may do a dagger build with this. I just like to do weird things. I just like to go off the meta. But we can get way more damage. We can get more damage here. We can get the enchant on the helmet. Like, there's just so much stuff to do in Path of Exile. But I figured I'd give you guys a little update because it's been a while since I did an update to this. And I've still been playing consistently over on the stream. So if you guys want to head over, we'll probably also give an update to the other Berserker build that had the shrine. This one was really, really fast. I know a lot of you guys like this, and I will give you guys an update to this one as well. This is the Flicker Strike, super, super fast one. Fun stuff indeed as well with the goal for the new league mechanic on the Atlas. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. Subscribe, turn that bell if you guys want to see more. This is your first time here. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one. I'm out. Peace.